What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and today, guys, we are back with a brand new top 5 for you guys, and that is top 5 PVE base locations on the Eden side of the Genesis map. So, guys, on Genesis, there are obviously two sides. You've got Rockwell's Garden, and you've got the Eden area. We're going to be covering all the best PVE base spots on the Eden area. Now, these are entirely based on my opinion, based on aesthetics of it, location to resources, and all that good stuff, and safety from other wild dinos as well. So, guys, without further ado, let's get into the number 5 base spot, and this base spot is right here. The giant waterfall, the giant tech sort of, I don't know if it's tech, you'd more say so, sort of city. The location of this area is 2070, and you can see here, it's pretty much a gigantic pond. Now, as well as that, you've got a nice flat area for building bases here. You can also build ramps going up this way and actually build up on here, have ramps coming back down over here, and just have a massive base out in this open section. So it's a really good area. As well as that, you can also build up on these platforms, and majority of it is all pretty straight. So, you know, you don't need to worry about having to snap foundations funkily or anything like that, or using pillars. And if you really wanted to, you could even build across this and have a massive base in the center here. You would need a lot of pillars, however, for that, so keep that in mind. As well as that, there aren't really too many hostile tames around here. You will get like your odd pack of raptors, and that's pretty much it. That's the biggest threat you'll face here in terms of wild dinos. Plenty of wild herbivores around, plenty of trees, berry bushes, and all that stuff. You do have access to metal on the mountain up over there. It is a little bit of a trip, but it is worth it. There's also another mountain over there where you can get metal and crystal. Now, you are pretty far away from the space bridge in comparison to like some of these other base spots. However, you do have access to one pretty much just straight ahead here. It's not really going to take you too long to get there if you've got a flyer or a Maywing. If you're going on foot on like a Strider or something, yeah, sure. But it is still pretty close to the space area as well. Now, as well as that, it does have an underwater section. So you can actually store some pretty big tames under here. You can fit mosasaurs under here. If you cryo them up and you throw them out, you can fit them under here. As well as that, you can build your own fish tank down here and just keep your own fish in order to tame up shadow mains swimming around here, because no wild dinos actually spawn in this pond. Now, you will obviously get the occasional raptor falling in here if they do fall in. They can aggro on your fish, but majority of the time they will not aggro on them. You do have a nice little area under here where you can also build moon pools and stuff like that if you really want to, but it's not necessary. So yeah, this base spot, number 5, it's really nice. You've got a big ass waterfall that you can look over onto. If you really wanted to as well, you could also build on these base spots up here. So you've got like a nice bridge up here as well, and up here as well, you've got two little flat areas underneath the guns where you can also actually build on. So you can see there, nice flat areas if you really wanted to come up here and get closer to the waterfall. But I think down the bottom here is the best bit, because you do have access to all this massive pond and all the flat areas around it as well. And you can see we've got a Maywing currently swimming through it. So yeah, let's move on to the number 4 base spot though. Now, guys, coming in at number 4, we have this base spot at 6078. Here it is on the map. It's a nice little flat area where it is high up, so you'll be safe from predators. You'll be just safe. It is flat, so you can build nice, flat, even bases up here. And as you can see, there aren't really any predators. You are surrounded by, I guess you could say, cliff faces on every side. So, you know, if you wanted to make sure that your dinos didn't fall off, you would have to either cryopod them up or build some barriers around the edges of this place. But it is a nice little area. It kind of gets you back into nature if you want to stay away. Okay, and we got an explorer note. And it gets you away from, you know, sort of the techie spaceship side of the Genesis Eden area. So you can definitely build here. There's plenty of spaces. You've got these little flat bridges that you can build out on. They're nice and flat, you can see there. There is a mission terminal just over there as well. You can see it just over in the distance there. This mountain is full of metal nodes. If you come over here, you'll see a bunch of metal nodes. You can see there's heaps of metal nodes there. You've also got another mountain behind you as well. There's an aquatic area down there with waterfalls. If you want a little bit of a scenic view, you know, you can build a base over here and get some nice views going. But yeah, I think this is a really nice spot. It's different to the other bits that we've got on this list as well, due to the fact that it's mainly located in nature. So, you know, you're surrounded by all the trees and stuff like that instead of all the tech city sort of areas. So yeah, this place is really nice. Plenty of bushes, plenty of resources around you to farm up everything. Plus with tech striders now, you don't really need to worry too much about having to farm. Plenty of options for tames as well. You've got plenty of herbivores, plenty of carnivores, flies as well, as you can see down there. Snow owls do spawn in this area as well. So I'd heavily recommend checking this base spot out. It's at about 60, 78, 61, 78, you can see there. So yeah, nice little scenic area as well. Let's move on to number 3. Now guys, this next spot is located at 4478 pretty much. And as you can see, it's another nice little flat area surrounded by the sort of tech city stuff. So if you don't mind the tech city stuff, it's okay to build here. But in terms of scenic, it's pretty scenic. You can see here we've got a nice pond over here on this side, another waterfall over there, plenty of nature on this side. But if we come over here, we have another raging waterfall that you can actually build on. So you can see here we've got foundations, and you can actually build along this entire thing and have your base situated in the actual water if you really wanted to. It is all entirely flat down there, so if you wanted to build the base, you'd build a nice flat one. You can see here it is nice and flat, so you can build the base off the back of this, which is great. And you know, you could even have it cascading off the waterfall a little bit if you wanted to go down that route. You do have some little storage areas as well here that you can use as well if you really wanted to. I would really recommend it. Nice flat bits here. You've got a nice bridge that you can build on up here for dino storage if you wanted to. Same goes for up here. Plenty of resources located nearby, plenty of rocks, trees, bushes, all that sort of stuff. You are relatively close to the space area as well. All it is a short journey down this bridge and you'll find yourself in the space area. So in terms of farming up resources from the meteors, it's not going to be too difficult for you to do. But you can see here that you've got a nice little aquatic area. Nothing too massive. So, you know, you probably could fit like a couple of mosasaurs in the deeper section of this little river area. Definitely could fit megalodons and bazies and all that sort of stuff down here as well, though. So if you wanted to go for aquatic tames as well, you'll definitely have the capacity to store them down here. And yeah, it's just another really nice base spot. There is a mission terminal very close by as well, so you don't need to worry too hard about missions. If we come into the mission list, I'll bring up the mission dispatcher and you can see that it'll come up. You can see the mission dispatcher is right down there. So, you know, you're not really far. A quick Maywing glide down here and you'll be all good. You're also close to the underwater biome. By going through underneath here, you'll actually come up onto the underwater area down here. So if you follow that, you'll come to the underwater biome. So plenty of ways for you to farm silica pearls, oil, and all that sort of stuff as well. So guys, that area comes in at the number 3 spot. Let's move on to number 2. Alrighty guys, now coming in at number 2, we have an underwater base spot. Now, this place is absolutely sick, and it would be number 1 if I didn't have my base spot already, and I really enjoy where my base is. So nonetheless, this area is 4469. Now, you'll find this under the water area. If you go through one of the entrances in the underwater zone under the bridges, you'll come across this area a little bit easier. You can go through one of the little tower areas. Just make sure that you've got your GPS on you so that you don't get lost. But if we come through here, you can see here that is an absolute Garden of Eden. It's great. So you've got everything in here. You've got plants, you've got trees. Now, obviously, you'll need to be careful where you build. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble with your sort of regrow structure thing that you have activated on the server settings. But there are plenty of flat spots where you can build a pretty decent sized base, you know. And you've got a lovely view of the underwater area. So building under here will give you access to all the underwater resources. You are relatively close to the surface as well. The surface is just out through one of these side entrances and a few meters further ahead, and then you just follow that through and you come through to the tech bridges. So it's a really nice area, and honestly, I reckon you should build here hands down. However, I would recommend building here after you've got a sort of main base set up, and mainly use this one as kind of like an outpost. Because you're not going to, I mean, you could live under here for sure if you wanted to. But I feel like this is more sort of an outpost base spot. But it hands down is one of the coolest base spots that Ark has delivered to us. So I would heavily recommend checking it out. The base coordinates are, like I said, 4468. And to get here, like I said, all you need to do is follow one of the underwater entrances. So what we'll do is we'll come down here. And if we come up here, you'll see that the side entrance here, just over here, will take us back up to where the bridges are. So it's relatively easy to find if you can keep your eye out for it and just know where you're looking for. But if we come through here again, and you'll see where we come out where I'm talking about, so that it gives you easy access in order to find this space spot. And you can see here we come out underneath the bridges. I don't know what this specific area is called. Will it tell us? Sump. Okay, apparently it's called Sump. So this main ravine of water where you can go down. So if you come through here, you'll easily be able to find that base spot. It's very simple to find once you know what you're looking for. And you can see just like that, we're here. So yeah, definitely check that base spot out. It's probably one of my favorite ones on Genesis Part 2. But guys, let's move on to the first base spot. Alrighty guys, and the number 1 base spot goes to where I've stuck my base at 4460. Now, hands down, I really enjoy this base spot for a couple of reasons. So first off, we're super close to the space area. Literally all we need to do is go down there and we are in the space biome, so we can farm up whatever resources we want. In order to actually get up to this area, it's very simple. All we need to do is come under here. So if we've got like a land tame that doesn't fly or anything like that, which you don't really need anymore because you can cryo it up and jetpack up there anyway, all you need to do is come through here and you can actually follow this bit up and it will take you up to the base spot. You can go up there and then work your way across the bridge. But what I've done is set up some tech bridges to make my way up here because majority of the time I'm on a Maywing. And then all I need to do is simply follow this through. And then all this does is takes you straight up here. There's a bit of a hill and then you're just right up here. Now, as well as that, we've got nice trees lining either side. You've got plenty of open flat area in order to build bases, in order to build taming pens, in order to build pens for your dinos, you name it. As well as that, in here we've got a bunch of plant species X seed. We've got a nice water source that's relatively close. You can see here we've got some piping that's heading towards our base. So, you know, we don't need to worry about water or watering our crops. Plus, this area is kind of like techie, so if we really wanted to, we could build like a little bit of an outpost in here as well. As well as that, we could come down here and get some scenic views of a lovely waterfall, as well as an annoying pteranodon. You can see here, get some scenic views of the Genesis 2 ship. It's really awesome. This base spot is great. We've also got a mission terminal right down there, so we don't need to worry about traveling far for missions. We've got a nice little pond down here that we can use to store fish for shadow maintaining. You can see down there is our pond. I think we have some fish in there. You can see the fish in there as well. So, you know, this is a really great base spot. Super close to the bridge area, so we can get across to the Rockwell's garden area, the space area. We can tame whatever we want really closely. It's an awesome base spot, and I'd heavily recommend checking it out because you can build there. It is relatively flat. You might come across a couple extra steep little slopes where you'll have to do some handiwork to kind of fix that up, but it's a super nice area, guys. You've got easy access to metal from the meteors, easy access to every resource, really. Plenty of nice, friendly herbivores in the area as well. I'm yet to encounter anything aggressive in this area yet. So it's a super nice spot. Plenty of areas to farm and everything. And you're close to the tech city. You're close to everything from this spot, which is why I really like it so much. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap the top 5 up for today. Let me know if you guys have any favorite base spots. Let me know what you thought of these base spots. But nonetheless, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.